one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best? 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 What's the second best? There is no second best.
Welcome in to Discover Crypto in the Blockchain Basement. Holy cow. This is a wild day. This is a wild day. Everyone, it's been a long time coming. Been a very long time coming. W's in the chat. Something that we've been looking for quite some time. Obviously, it's been a long time coming for Chainlink. But we got some good stuff to talk about today. We have some really, really good stuff to talk about today. I've been into Chainlink for like my first buy was $1.90. Right now, we're above $20. The chart has been suppressed for so insanely long. It's hard to really express completely to you guys how long this journey has been. And I've held Chainlink for quite some time. I've held Chainlink for quite some time. So it's taken a lot of getting used to seeing Chainlink truly win. I know the audio was so bad audio. Let's see if it got fixed. I had a pump fun running in the background. You know, the average buys on Chainlink, they're coming in right in around $5, right? So I've been holding this thing for quite some time. Is it better? All right, cool. Jeremy's let me know. It's my mic was a little bit messed up there. So when I saw today's news about Chainlink, it's something that I already knew was coming, this integration of Swift and finding a project in crypto that not is trying to take over the existing system, but to essentially plug into what is already there, right? This is something that I really have been searching for quite some time. The news today from Swift about Chainlink really solidifies this, but I have many, many other news articles and things that kind of flew over people's heads in terms of what JP Morgan has already gotten started with in terms of working with Chainlink. So let's get into all this news. Make sure to, and you know, I know the clickbait, it's crazy, but I'm going to give a long-term outlook for Chainlink. Do you guys desperately want XRP to die so badly? Actually, that'd be kind of bad for me. If that did happen, if that did go down, no, that would not be good for me. I have many people that I know that hold XRP. You know, I think XRP is in a situation where a pivot is probably in order for XRP. There's a little bit of lost hope, though, about replacing Swift after today's news. So make sure to follow me at Druth Crypto. And also make sure to follow us on Discover Crypto. Make sure you're subscribed. I have plans actually in the front end. They can actually bring back Blockchain Basement in its own show. Kind of thinking about this time frame here, maybe 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., maybe a specific Blockchain Basement show. I'm definitely looking to bring it back, though. Make sure to follow it. And also DeFi, Crypto, and Airdrops in BitLab Academy. And then today is an exciting day as well. I got set up. I am currently zooming into evaluation mode on Breakout Prop. This is a process to go through and essentially make it through the evaluation and end up with $100,000 account balance from a $1,000 evaluation fee. There are other options, you know, if you're interested in, you know, learning how to trade with only up to 5x leverage, not, you know, 100x leveraging immediately to try to just double up and go in and get wrecked that way. If you want to learn how to do it in a concise and based way, okay, this is where we let the trades come to us. Obviously, I do that on my trading anyways, but it teaches the requirement of letting the trade come to you. So I'm super excited about it. And I do have a link down in the description. I believe you use code DISCO to get in on that one. The market's been hot though this morning. I have not fired in anything yet. You know, I'm waiting for the general signals. If you're in my trading group, you know what general signals I look for in terms of Bitcoin. We did break above a zone that I was talking about yesterday was going to be turbulence. We did break above it this morning. And right now, the top end of this range, this is old volume from the last time we had, kind of vibe checked into this lane, right at about $119,500. The liquidations have definitely shown me that the markets are consistently in disbelief right now that Bitcoin's returning. So this is where liquidity lives. Very split. A lot of shorts piling in, looking to get wrecked at $120,500. And then the longs coming in here. And a nice washout would be down to 118. Very split this morning. Man, it was just absolute fireworks watching this block get gobbled up. And on the trading market open show, me and Kelly did, something really stuck out in terms of Bitcoin for me, just in its general structure right now. And I believe I saw it on the daily, but you can kind of see it here on the weekly. It's a W formation, clear as day. And kind of what I've seen these setups do more often than not in this current bull market is come up, break that old school high, and then come back down and find support in the center point of the W pattern structure, which right here would land at about 115 to 117, the center point here. But this is actually looking like it wants to go and check out what 128, $130,000 would feel like, which is super exciting for Bitcoin, especially. But altcoins, they got some work to do. They've been left behind. There's a lot left on the table as we're seeing things like the S&P just literally opening at all-time highs consistently. S&P 500 officially crossed above 6,700 for the first time in history, less than 24 hours after the shutdown begins. Obviously, I feel no sadness about seeing the government shut down for a period of time. Um, the market, I think, realizes how much quantitative easing is really coming in as well. I think that gold is front running what's to come for Bitcoin in a very, very clear way. With that, Bitcoin's got to reclaim, got to get back into those all-time high modes. Ethereum comes right afterwards. And I think Binance is one of the main big altcoins that's going to just follow in tandem or even outpace what Bitcoin's doing right now. Generally, that's kind of the vibe that I feel is going right now in the markets. You tell me if you think I'm, out of my mind for thinking this, if we are at the Pico top and it's only down from here, but I'm feeling bullish. And another thing that made me feel bullish about Bitcoin, the slow decline in long-term Bitcoin holdings, it definitely suggests that the Bitcoin bull cycle is underway. And this is from Cointelegraph. These metrics, take them or leave them. When you have these types of swooping motions, really emotions, markets, they all move in waves. Seeing that the long-term Bitcoin holdings on a slow decline, a little bit of the old school Bitcoin holders selling off and taking that profit on old school Bitcoin, slowing down, giving time for, new interest to build up, things of that nature. And, we need some upside here with the amount of inflation going on. I thought this post was hilarious from Iraq veteran 8888. $100,000 a year is the new 42K a year. Let me know in the chat if that's what you are seeing as well. If your work is, right around, a decent level when you go to high school, you're thinking, man, $100,000 is going to be great. You get here to 2025, $100,000 feels a lot like 40K for sure. So let me know in the chat how you're feeling about that. And this is something insane. I talked about the S&P at extreme all-time highs over and over again. And this is total job openings in the white. And the purple line is the release of Chat GPT, right? The Wall Street cooking up into the sky, and the total job openings seemingly going in reverse, earnings going ballistic, jobs not so much. Guess what? They can do more with less with ChatGPT AI. It's a crazy situation that I just wanted to highlight before I get into the rest of the articles and altcoins, because what we're fighting against is not only the inflationary pressure on our dollar and how $100,000 feels like 40K really right now, but also that ChatGPT and AI systems are going to replace a large contingent of the working class over the next 10 years. I feel that way very hard-sidedly. There are people that be arguing against it. No, no, no. We need all kinds of people to oversee AI and stuff like that. We may be seeing a moment of that, right, while AI is being developed, but the mechanisms in which we mine fiat must change as the ways that the economy operates changes. We need to change with the tide, and that is just what I'm seeing. Corporate overlords, they're going to do away with the vast majority of people's employment through the use of AI. Now, Dr. Adam Lowe, shout out to Arculus. I saw this article; it's pretty cool. At Token 49, introducing Arculus as a co-sponsor and co-host of the VIP soiree here, Impactful Evening. This is pretty cool. Adam Lowe, we've had him on the channel before. They're a great channel sponsor. I honestly love Arculus. I use it. I think it's an important tool to onboard the masses into using cold custody for crypto. So if you have anyone that's not been onboarded, that's a little bit afraid of cold custody and actually becoming their own bank, I do implore you to have them at least look at an Arculus cold storage device. It is a sleek steel card design. This is the company CompuSecure. I mean, they're behind a lot of the old school developments of every card that we know and use right now. And it's an easy way for me to show someone, hey, you can actually take control of your crypto, no third party. This is how easy it is to use. So make sure if you have someone in your life that's like that, you go use code DC20, you get 20% off. You can get them off of an exchange and show them the ultimate power of cold custody. Please, I implore you to do that. Now, the news about Chainlink. We're going to start talking about Chainlink now. It is this. Swift posted this from the Swift community official page. Congratulations to the winners of the 2025 Swift Hackathon. That is right. It is Chainlink, folks. Chainlink steps in, wins alongside Deutsche Bank. These are just small organizations, right? A systemically important global bank right next to Chainlink Labs, winning the 2025 Swift Hackathon. Swift being willing to point this out. And now let's read on because it brings up ISO 20022. This ISO narrative has been something that has brewed within altcoins for years. There's been altcoins that have just tried to design their whole setup and what they're all about into being ISO compliant. It's mentioned here directly by Swift. So Chainlink secured the business challenge title with a solution that combines automated compliance standard with the trusted verifiable legal entity identifier. They call it BLEI. This is a framework to enhance regulatory compliance. So they're talking about internal mechanisms they're actively working on building because earlier this week they already mentioned Swift is building a ledger, right? And they worked with Linea on a test transaction. So Deutsche Bank, this tiny little systemically important bank, took the technical challenge with a digital to fiat bridge ISO 20022, enabling an interoperable central bank digital currency and digital currency transfers. So they tested both a central bank digital currency, and then it looks like they tested just true and tried digital currency transfers across jurisdictions, and they were making sure that the verifiable legal entity identifier acted as it should. So congratulations also to the runners-up, Credit Agricole. Okay, runners-up here, Business Challenge, and the Currency Network Ltd. So it's a very interesting moment as they are testing and talking about who they're testing with the next version of the dollar, right? Digital currencies, USDC, and then CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. There is a lot of fever within the XRP community, XRP investors on their way to another Chainlink post to spin this news as a positive for themselves. David Sachs, David Schwartz, rather. That's a horrible slip there. David Schwartz crashing out. Joel Katz. Oh, my Lord. Now, the posts are spinning, but there's a larger conversation here. Is that JP Morgan had admitted and went public that they had tested out transactions with Chainlink and Onto Finance, right? So JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank, Swift. This is the three part smorgasbord that is really going to set up an actionable movement on the next version of the dollar. Both of these entities highlighting tests and transactions with Chainlink. Chainlink is the common denominator. You had this one with Ondo, the one earlier this week with Linnea. Chainlink has been the common denominator because banks build ledgers, no problem. Banks don't build oracles. This is the difference. This is why the systemic importance of Chainlink is so undervalued right now. Absolutely. And Bare Naked Crypto had a post that made me laugh earlier this morning. Let's hear. Swift announces they're building their own system like every bank is, right? I mean, they know how to build ledgers. He nailed it. Then the co-creator of XRP leaves the team. You can't make this up. Can't wait to see the greatest wealth transfer in history. Ripplers selling their XRP for Chainlink. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if people are looking at the XRP, they're looking at the Chainlink chart, they're making some decision. Why are people what is this? Definitely true living on Long Island. Oh, I'm going through some of these banned comments. Alden is just going on. Oh, Alden might be mad about Clash or something. What up, Hermanov? I see your chat here. Uh, easy, Alden. He might be mad about the Clash. I saw Clash is doing really good. Good on George from Cryptos R Us for making that coin so successful. It's not easy getting those coins up there. But I just laid out literal proof that three of the most important entities within finance as we know it across the planet, we have JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank, and Swift, right? Very, very clear. And you could include BNY Mellon. They're not really setting up the narrative, or they're just open to custodying. They've been very open in crypto anyways. They're open for it. BNY Mellon's fine. These three entities, JP Morgan, Swift, a few years ago, they looked at Chainlink as the competitor. Now, I think the road is very, very clear on where this market is going, and it's best explained in this true and tried flow chart here. Chainlink, know the name. Bitcoin introduced that blockchain tech. This is the foundation of all of this major lending markets within crypto, decentralized money, new form of digital payments, but then Ethereum comes in. It sets up the smart contracts. It sets up the more intricate business-specific blockchain solutions, programmable logic, and enabling a decentralized application. Then the third layer, right? And we've already seen the price. I mean, I got my Ethereum for $180. Jeeting it around to $4,500. Great move on ETH, right? Fantastic. Chainlink right below it has not had that move yet. And Chainlink introduces the smart Oracle network. And this is the key point, is that banks build ledgers, no problem. JP Morgan's building their own blockchain, Onyx, no problem. They absolutely have the bandwidth to do so. They do not build Oracle networks. Chainlink has been getting the entire system of crypto connected to it, using the CCIP, using the data flow, and it's about to turn on fees across the board for Chainlink. So when I look at this token graph, I understand that there is a situation where the system is connected to Chainlink, whether it likes it or not at this point. The token, the token usage, the utility of it through CCIP hasn't completely been clicked on. I see this chart as a massive opportunity. This looks like a disgusting clear W pattern that it's forming right here. And I think Chainlink, along with other projects that are undervalued right now, there is a list of projects that I'm feeling bullish on as we've reclaimed 4 trillion. We're at 4.1 trillion. Things are moving very, very hot there. The fear is still flatline at 50. People don't know what the hell's happening right now. Bitcoin coiling right under all-time highs. ETH coiling right under all-time highs. XRP coiling right under all-time highs. And then BNB literally at all-time highs right now. Okay. And shout out to BNB holders. Okay. Shout out to CZ. Good job. Solana set up for that same type of move. A lot of these are primed to 2 to 3x in the top 10. Then when I look at the top 20, as long as these projects can keep the lights on, can keep the flows going, can keep the posts going, can ride the wave of general aggregate market cap increase of Bitcoin going from $2.3 trillion to $4 trillion. just the ripple effect of that moves down the chart. And these projects are tiny in terms of their market cap. Look, number 22, this is actually one I think is going to die. Shiba Inu. I think this 7 billion, either it's going to stay flat, it's going to have a muted upside, or it's going to go to zero. I feel like Shiba Inu is on the outs. There are projects within this range that I think are going to lose. It's not we're all going to make it. It's some of us are going to make it that are choosing the right projects. But these market caps in aggregate, when we hit that FOMO peak, which I think is going to be caused by these remaining Federal Reserve interest rate cuts, quantitative easing being shown, weakness in macro economies, major risk appetite coming to levels that honestly we haven't seen in quite some time. And I do have some metrics on that. Where is this information? Because we are at extreme risk coming back into the market, extreme risk appetite coming back. And people are left on the sidelines in disbelief. Like we can't have a literal recession happening. They're lying about a recession, yet risk appetite going to extreme highs. People don't understand how aggressive major money bag movers, market makers that mess with treasuries, they move the markets heavy, right? And now that we're in this $2.3 trillion market cap class on Bitcoin, the interest, the intrigue is there. And we have investors that have said it really well. I think the Cardone brothers said they're like, when we look at Bitcoin's 15K, we're like, whatever, when it's 2 trillion, 2 or 3 trillion dollars, it's a much more trusted and longer term outlook. And this is something we've crossed the Rubicon now. We are in the multi-trillion dollar market cap class. And I think that this market as it sits right now has my diminished expectation for this bull market is a $6 trillion market cap, right? More bullish type setups are $8 to $10 trillion. So if we hit the least bullish of those options, yeah, it's only like, $150, maybe $140,000 Bitcoin, but that ripple effect still plays out very, very heavily on altcoins. So when we look at Chainlink, and I want to give this a complete bow on it. I want to give my thoughts a complete bow on where I think Chainlink has the potential to go. So this W pattern, this is on log, right? So we got to look at this from a more flatline basics perspective. This is setting up a very, very parabolic design on the higher lows. Absolutely on the weekly. Now, in terms of money flow, this is where things get even funner because the price is not reflecting the money flow that is sliding up. The last time we had a true money flow wave was this one that peaked out at May 2021. What we've had is but a taste. These tiny little impulses, I think these were caused just from regulatory clarity, just from realizing that we're here to stay. And they actually, in my opinion, have these momentary kind of stumbles and like, wait a minute, this is real. And then Swift's like, yeah, this is real. November, we're going to be going live and doing transactions with a literal crypto blockchain. This is what's happening. And so these money flow waves, if we just accomplish a similar one to 2021, that moves this market cap by leaps and bounds. It is a small market cap in comparison. Currently, if you take out stablecoins, Chainlink is number 10. Now, I've always talked about in a $6 trillion market cap in aggregate, the barrier to entry to be in the top 10 in terms of being a crypto project would land right in the $60 to $80 billion market cap range. Where things sit, I'm talking a diminished expectation of market movement here. We're at a $15 billion market cap. Okay. So my, general, and this is accompanying diminishing returns. I'm accompanying diminishing returns expectation, not comparing what alts did last market. I'm talking about what's happening this market. And I'm talking about Bitcoin dominance staying higher than we've ever seen before, above the 50% mark, right? In a peak top. So this situation, we're at $15 billion. Chainlink just finding a bare minimum barrier of entry right at around $60 billion, holding the line at number 10. That is where some really surprising numbers come into play. A lot of people are like, no, this can't happen. It can't happen. You know what? Absolute insanity has happened for projects with way less going for them. Chainlink, in my opinion, as an altcoin, has the most going for it of any altcoin out there. They have the literal entire ecosystem of data and oracles locked in, and they have control of it right now. So let's actually look at what this is in terms of price. So we're at about 700 million Link, going to be released by Q1 of 2026. And we look at a diminished expectation right around a 60 billion accomplishment. That's $87 a piece, right? Or a near 3x from where it sits right now. But where things actually seem to be going is 150 to 200. Once we start breaching into that, more mid-level expectation for me at the $8 trillion market cap, then that allows me to look at the barrier to entry to the top 10 in crypto to be at $100 billion or more. And this is where things get really, really crazy. Because if that is the case, and if Chainlink is able to hold the line at its current number 10 spot, then you end up with a situation where you rise to $157 a unit, or a 6x from 22 bucks right now, 600%. So this is where the chaos goes. My mind does definitely feel, my heart does feel that Chainlink has the potential to hit this $150 mark or $100 billion market cap. But me, for how long I've been in it, I'm going to be selling in big chunks because my average price is like $5, right? I've been believing in this project for quite some time. I'm going to leave a moon bag of Chainlink behind no matter what. But there will be a time where I'm going to be selling this asset. When I'm selling it, and this is kind of my Chainlink game plan. Let's talk about it. What's the game plan? All right. So I do feel like, we're going to be able to break out and create a new high. I do feel that way. And we have the same general build-up structure of higher lows leading up to this massive, massive move. I do feel like we're going to find that massive move. But where I'm finding my personal exits is actually on the link to Bitcoin chart. So the link to Bitcoin chart looks much different. It looks very, very bearish. The moment that I see Chainlink start to fight back against Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, the moment that I see Chainlink really start to win against Bitcoin, that's when I'm selling. Because the Chainlink dollar chart, right? The amount of dollars I get per each chain link, that's one chart, but the amount of Bitcoin I get per chain link matters much, much more to me. The whole goal is to make more Bitcoin. So I will be looking at these impulses, these past impulses. I highly doubt that this impulse is all Chainlink has in store for it over the remainder of the year, with all of the bull risk on scenarios building up, all of that being built up in the background. I don't see it happening, right? If I felt like we're at the top, I'd be the first one to be screaming at it. I'd be the first one to be fudded my own bags in Chainlink. But I have all of the systemic and chart confluence to hold this asset class through, see its performance against Bitcoin through the remainder of this year, and then leave a moon bag in case I'm completely wrong about the 4-year cycle looking similar and we go into this nightmarish 8-year bull market. I'll have a moon bag on the sidelines. It'll work for me. It's good. I'm feeling good about it. Now I want to check out what is it, Yukistan? Thinking about rolling Bitcoin into Chainlink, considering the upside potential, Link being so undervalued. That's all your decision, man. I don't like rolling any Bitcoin into anything else. I like it going in reverse only. So what I'm actively doing is trading, right? And the first thing, I'm feeling like Bitcoin's in the jive. I feel like Bitcoin's leading the charge. I'm going to be trading Bitcoin on breakout prop. Use code DISCO and get the discount. It's you can go at a range, spend $60, pass the evaluation, get a $5,000 account, right? Or you can be like me. I went after the $1,000 payment and get access to $100,000. That's my general vibe. I'm going to be trading Bitcoin in this process, but I'm using the tether in the trades for altcoins, for Bitcoin, right? I'm using that money. So now we got to look at the other stories here. Let's look at the other stories. U.S. government shutdown, now projected to last up to 29 days, would make it the second longest in history. I'm liking this. I'm liking it a lot, and I hope that they stay shut down. I hope that they stay arguing honestly. This is a funny post from TJ. The government shut down because it's broke and can't pay its debts. Let that sink in. And this is a crazy Time magazine. God, is this actually? I think this is from the 1970s, early 1970s there. This is when everything changed, man. Like the dollar has collapsed so badly since this picture, since the 70s. If we would have taken that more seriously, we should have just full ported. Everyone should have just full ported into gold in the early 70s. We would have been fine. Full port, do not comply. That would have been the move here. Now, in this government shutdown, 1.5 million U.S. government employees have been furloughed since the yesterday shutdown began. Now, Fluffy the Sheep getting me going. You're getting me going about something and this is, I had one news article today that came across my desk, and I literally am driven to start the Blockchain Basement specific shows because of it. And I can't talk about it on the show. I can't talk about it on the show here today. But the Blockchain Basement shows are coming back. Fluffy the Sheep, we are going to have our safe space. I promise you that, my man. Indeed safe space for all. Right now, get on to the next story here. Trump says Democrats have given him an unprecedented opportunity in this government shutdown to fire potentially millions of government employees, right? So the longer they string this discourse out, this disagreement, this lock at the top, then it gives Trump actually some insane ability to fire gads of people, like millions of federal employees. So we'll see if this happens. And mind you, most of the job gains, most of the actual increases in employment during the Biden administration were actually in the federal government and healthcare industries. So we'll see how long they can keep it shut down, because there's a whole chunk of change that could be saved by a lessening of the federal government there. Now, New York has launched a pilot program to give low-income residents $12,000 in stable coins on Coinbase. This is Coinbase Circle State Pilot Program. Low income, guaranteed income. This is the narrative we knew was coming. People have been basically priced out to the point where a government level basic government income is being rolled out in the literal financial hub of the United States. That's how and this is what, like, Circle, even as beat down as that chart is right now, this makes me want to go look at Circle. Because I've said it, we're like looking at the next CBDC. We're looking at like the next US dollar through a private company. So this is the next US dollar as a private company. Low chart, systemically important. Low chart, systemically important. That's what I take from there, right? And they're Coinbase being involved in this basic state income. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Some words from Alex Becker. People have been calling us alt season believers wrong all year. Soon, we will make more money than they've made in 5 years in a single month. Boom. Shout out to that. I feel it coming. Burn the boats. Glory. Absolutely. Forward on, we forge. We got a moment of hesitation. I get it. We got Bitcoin dominance. We should actually pull up Bitcoin dominance while we're getting into the altcoin section here. BTC.D. We're doing great on time. We're making all kinds of coverage of the news and important things that matter to us so we don't lose our money in this crazy market. Now, 58% Bitcoin dominance. Ooh, baby, are you getting rejected? Let's see this follow through into a red, right? Let's see it follow through into a red. The money flow coming down too. Money flow is coming down on the weekly. So it's got to fight. It's got a little bit of a battle for Bitcoin dominance to keep holding strong here, setting up a crazy move. Now, risk appetite. This is the article I was looking for. Total assets under management of all leveraged equity ETFs have now exceeded $1.6 billion, the highest in September of 2022. This marks the highest readings in years, only below the 1.8 billion seen 3 years ago, right? Since April, leveraged equity ETF assets have risen by $700 million or 74%. This is speculation in US stocks absolutely going ballistic. And you know what? This little move probably going to look like this tiny little move before a insane speculation into the end of the year. Systems broken, going to all-time highs on gold, S&P 500, Bitcoin, altcoins, absolute speculation chaos is what I think is coming. And then a reckoning after that. Now, how long that reckoning lasts, we will find out. But boy, howdy, are we in for the hell of a ride. Now, this is a new project, Double Zero. Crypto 2024, they got a Wells notice, and now no action left. Double Zero launches this actual product the day after, a day of receiving the green light from the SEC here. Now they're making a move to be a faster version of the internet. Global network, live now, powered by 2Z. I get it. You want to take over the internet. It's just, for God's sakes, you got to plug into the existing. But see, people are speculating on this thing still. Where is it at here? I was looking at it earlier. Coin market cap. Let's go here. God, that pulse chart gives me nightmares. I want to pull up this Double Zero account though, because this is something. It's another new product that came out really hot and heavy. I wonder if they've already rug. Let's go in raw. Right? We're just gonna raw dog this chart here. Where is the token? Give me the token. Looking for the actual contract address here. I'm on their actual website looking about it. Blah blah blah. Where's the tokenomics disclosure? I want to get the juice. Where's the juice? Where's the chart? Show me the chart. Guess I'll have to go just float around here. It's kind of weird. I think something crazy might have happened because they were one of the top gainers. So we might. Do we have a problem? Do we have a problem here? They fell, maybe. Let's see here where they are. I'll go through them in the chat. Where is this? Is it 2 something? There it is. Yeah, 2Z. All right, let's hear. So we got like a day's worth of data on this thing. It's up by 7% since release. So I guess maybe we're showing this because I was wanting to show it when it was down here because it had like the release and then drop. Now it's being released on a very bullish day. And it came out as number 49. It came out with, was it $2.49 billion market cap? So a new product. Do I think it's going to actually take over the internet as we know it? No, I do not. But I think chaos and insane speculation happens on these types of launches in this type of environment. And I felt it's noteworthy just to have a mind's eye on. I am also monitoring this one XPL, this tether-backed product here that had just came out. Because this is kind of like that circle situation. You know what I mean? They get released. I feel like it's generally bullish, but you want to find where the floor is. So this is XPL, where it sits right now, not to be confused with XRP. Some good news for Avalanche holders as well. Avalanche Treasury announced a more than $500 million business combination with Mountain Lake Acquisition Corp. They're aiming to accumulate $1 billion worth of Avalanche into the treasury. Transactions include around $460 million in treasury assets. This is nice for me to see companies that are willing to put their money where their mouth is and back their firm with their asset, right? And also builds like this kind of weird relationship if they're old token holders. Yeah, and Ducey, that kind of feels like the next ICP 2.0, doesn't it? Like, give me a yes or no in the chat. Is Double Zero ICP 2.0? All right. Is this the next was it 2Z, the next ICP? Ooh, and it rhymes too. It rhymes. That's scary. It rhymes. That might be the next one. Hold on. We got to get you guys. I want to get you guys a bit. Because if we decide this right now, oh my God, bumped into Drew at Target. He was buying plant-based burgers. Bro, hold on.
You are banned!
This criminy Christmas. Unbelievable. Why would you say something like that? And especially on a day where I am setting out to make the world's greatest dad Krabby Patties. Okay? I'm going to make the best, maybe the brightest Krabby Patties this world has ever seen. He's with the veggie burgers. Where are you at? Where you go? Jesus. Holy God. Okay, there you are, Boosted. You're hiding from me. There we go. Okay, much better. Now back to important altcoin news. Before I was so rudely interrupted. SWI has launched the first SWI native stablecoins. And this is in partnership with Athena and SWI Foundation. Now, SWI has general uppityness. The chart vibes on SWI. The usage vibes, the ecosystem vibes. What I want to look at here is Athena vibing with us, right? What in the hell is going on with this Athena chart? I want to look at this. All right, so we'll start this look-see with Ethereum. Shout out. Beautiful. On its way back to 4,500. Running into turbulence. Going to be choppy now. We ran into the wall. This is the old wall. You just visualize a wall going across the screen here. I might as well, you know what? Instead of visualizing, I'm just going to draw it right now. Okay. Do this all the time. Bitcoin. I know I'm not trading Ethereum actively, but this is turbulent zone. But let's go look at Athena, right? ENA. This is a product that is maddening because World Liberty Financial believes in it. We have look at another thing that's crazy about Athena is the 13th largest market cap, including stable coins, is the Athena USDE. Okay. Oh my God. Patton McCrotch.
You are banned!
Had to serve me a walnut burger once. Get out of here. Good Lord. I'm emotional about hamburgers. I am emotional about hamburgers, if you can't tell. So Athena has been very lackluster in terms of price action. Got me thinking about hamburgers. This is what happens when I fast before the show. So we had a dip. We had a dip all the way on down to 52 cents, right? It's at 63 cents right now. It is starting to show good velocity on the escape, but very, very low from where it was. I remember we were looking at like a turnaround or something like that. I think it was around like 70 cents. I was looking around at this shelf. That failed, got stopped out, and it just kept chunking downhill. And I was like, I'm just going to leave this alone, see where it finds a baseline at here, not try to overtrade. This structure actually doesn't look horrible to me. I mean, you'll see a W peak, but it's a new high. And these types of dips, this is like a ball being pushed underwater and then popping up too hard. So actually, looking at Athena on the 4 hour, it doesn't look too bad. Let's pull up the weekly. Let's see here. We don't have much money flow, but we want to see this. We want to see this money flow turn around and stay solid green for a few months. I actually, this actually doesn't look too bad. This actually doesn't look too bad at all. Not at all. Athena, if I were to want a spot bag, it's basically here. It's kind of like pack your bags on Athena or not at this point. There's been tons of bullish news about, World Liberty Fi's interest in it, the stable coin inflows, all kinds of institutional level things seem to be going down and at least testing on Athena. So that chart right now, it tells me the pooper scoot, Drew. That's what this chart tells me. Drew, pooper scoot and pooper scoot. Now this is interesting too. And I am streaming, I believe, on Rumble as well. I hope I'm streaming on Rumble, but we are seeing some pretty cool stuff. The Tether partnership with Rumble set out to actually distribute coins within the platform itself. And this is all from that Tether partnership with Rumble running that USAT stablecoin wallet. This is freaking bad to the A, and I love it. I actually got to make sure that I'm live streaming on there as well. I had to delete some tabs because there was kind of an overload or overlord. Maybe that was a slip. Maybe it was an overlord, but an overload of news and sound coming at me before I started the stream here. So I had to shut her down, but I'll get back on there and see if the Rumble's still streaming. It shows that it's streaming on the major system on right now, but I'm going to be reintroducing Rumble shows, reintroducing the blockchain basement cultural crash out extravaganza. And it's going to happen every single day at 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. So make sure that you are following the blockchain basement, my channel. Okay. This is going to, okay. Hernanov, you're good.
You are banned.
God damn. You know what? I hear these blasphemy remarks about my hamburgers. The whole chat is just banned in the blockchain basement. You're all banned. Okay. Let's go look at this. World Liberty Fi co-founder Zach Witkoff planned to tokenize Trump's family real estate portfolio. We could be seeing Trump Tower tokenized. Okay. We could see Trump Tower literally tokenized, folks, including the Trump Tower in Dubai, to widen access to investors. Absolutely crazy. Over under, I think it's happening. I think it's happening. Got to close the polls. We're closing the polls. Oh, wait. Yeah, I started a Q&A on Discover. Dang it. Well, on the basement, I did it correctly. And it looks like, is 2Z the next ICP? Oh, we got to know. Okay. All right. Congratulations. You didn't get voted off the island 2Z. But it was a pretty close vote. It was 60 say no, 40 say yes. So we'll see how that pans out. Now, I hereby ban Truth from his own channel. Let anarchy wreak havoc. Man, that would be the move. What other? I got all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? I got, what you talking about? You know? Get out of here, man. Jeez. Now, this is insane. This is reality. This is nuts. This is my life.
Time you can negotiate in good faith while also poking a little bit of fun at some of the absurdities of the Democrats' positions, and even poking some fun at the absurdity of the Democrats themselves. I mean, I'll tell Hakeem Jeffries right now, I make this solemn promise to you that if you help us reopen the government, the sombrero memes will stop. And I talked to the president.
That is not AI. That is literally a clip from the Vice President of the United States. Government meme blackmail. Is that the next meta? I don't know. You tell me. But if you're out there, you're living life. This guy opened up about being in his 40s. I'm approaching my 40s. Okay. Maybe some of you are 40, 50. I don't know. Maybe you can give me advice on how it feels to get old. I was in the gym this morning, just literally doing old man movements on my knees, making sure I can still walk around, This guy talks about the importance of living with purpose. And it reminded me today to kind of emphasize this. Yes, we are looking at charts. We are having fun in crypto. But there is a more important thing in life, and that is the legacy that we leave behind, the things that we have done to impact society at large. Are we leaving better people behind for the planet? Are we leaving the world a better place than we left it? Are we setting a better example than was present when we arrived? These are questions that I feel I must answer yes to throughout my life. And I implore you to look at yourself honestly and make that decision. Am I bettering the world? And am I going to ban?
You are banned!
Out of here! Jesus. Make the world better. Love and appreciate you. Stay based. I hope you're in crypto before all-time highs. I'll see you on the next episode.
We just wanted to take a quick second to shout out our sponsor, Arculus. They are a cold storage hardware wallet, helps you secure all of your digital assets for the future. Just tap this thing to the back of your phone and boom, you're in. We wouldn't be able to do this without them, but also wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, the Disco fam. You've supported us a lot over the years. If you want to support the channel now, just use the code DC20. It gets you 20% off this card. It's the #1 way you can support this channel going forward. Thank you for your support. We'll see you at the top.